Well, I was introduced to it or told about it by my wife Jen, because she had been working with Jen Poole and NuCalm people at a cancer program that she does at Hippocrates in Blair. Jim and NuCalm people were using this with Janet at Hippocrates, and Janet said, you got to meet this guy, you got to try this system out. And you're writing a book right now, you better put the NuCalm system in your book. A few months later, Jen walked in my office with the NuCalm system. I hadn't really slept too well for the last 2 or 3 weeks, so I was kind of on edge. And Jim put this NuCalm system on my head, and then he left for about an hour. I had quite an interesting experience where I was completely relaxed, so relaxed that I believe I passed out. That was the beginning of my NuCalm experience. I realized that I had huge advantages to promoting sleep, reducing stress, and just promoting overall sense of well-being for myself. And then I realized I'd help my patients too. I do test things for myself, and we have a lot of technology in the office to actually help assess the effectiveness of any therapy. One thing that we use in the office is something about heart rate variability. That measures the health of what's called the autonomic nervous system. The system that controls things you could think about your next breath or next heartbeat, your blood pressure. And I try to explain to my patients that the immune system is not the most important system in the body, it's the autonomic nervous system. And also the hormonal system, the endocrine system. The hormonal system makes changes within minutes as response to the external environment, whereas the autonomic nervous system makes changes in seconds. So I explain to my patients that this autonomic nervous system has 2 parts to it. The sympathetic part, which is your left brain performance, energy producing part, and the parasympathetic part, which is your right brain creative, relaxation, regeneration system. And of the 2, the parasympathetic is the most important.
Doctor, you talk about electroacupuncture. It sounds very futuristic. What is that?
Patrick, it works like a lie detector in the sense that when you lie in a lie detector machine, the skin resistance changes. Electroacupuncture, a small current is applied to the finger and the patient is connected into the machine. And various substances can either change the skin resistance or not change the skin resistance. The real advantage of this system is to determine exactly what a patient needs to get better, whether it be a food, a vitamin, an herb, an antibiotic if you've got an infection, an antidepressant. Instead of trying to guess, well, take this for 2 weeks, come back and see if this works. Oh, it didn't work. Well, try this. We can actually, as long as you have the sample of the substance, you can actually determine what works for that patient that day. I feel that if you can figure out what to give a person, that is, what's effective and also tolerant and doesn't cause any harm, then you're not at your best as a doctor. We can actually test for stress on the parasympathetic nervous system using acupuncture, because we can take a homeopathic or a dilution of a substance called parasympathetic nerve. We can put that in the circuit and find out whether or not that affects the skin resistance in the patient. Well, my experience with NuCalm we have done before and afters, where patient had a stressed parasympathetic nervous system, and then we've treated the person with NuCalm and saw that the stress on the parasympathetic nervous system was reduced. So say you had a heart rate of 60. We think each beat is 1 second, but if each beat is 1 second, there's no variability. The parasympathetic nervous system is extremely stressed, but if one beat is 0.98 seconds and the next beat is 102, 0.99, 103, beat-to-beat variability. The healthier the beat-to-beat variability, the healthier the parasympathetic nervous system, the healthier the autonomic nervous system, the healthier the body is. Now, the key to health is regulation. How does one respond to stress? And we're always moving through life, and the heartbeat is not a static bit. And so, the greater the variability in the heartbeat, the healthier a person's keep going. But most people would refer to stress as a threat. There's mental stress. My son is a freshman in college. He's studying for his finals, and he's pulling all-nighters, drinking lots of coffee. Mental stress. There's emotional stress. You have a fight with your wife. There's nutritional stress. You eat gluten and you have an allergic reaction to gluten. There's environmental stress. There's physical stress. You're in a car accident. You hurt your neck. You hurt your body. So there's all sorts of stressors that all of us encounter every day. How do we put our systems back into flow? At the same time, do we have to go through life and experiencing these stresses? We're going to have these stresses no matter where we are. And the healthier our autonomic nervous system is, the healthier our parasympathetic nervous system, the more we're in flow, more easily we're not going to be affected by the stressors. Whatever the stress is, we have a glands that sit on top of the kidneys called the adrenal glands. And the adrenal glands secrete stress hormones, the most famous one being cortisol. And so whenever the stressor occurs, the adrenal glands will secrete cortisol. If the stressor continues, the adrenal glands continue to secrete cortisol. Eventually, the adrenal glands get tired. Then your ability to handle stress is reduced. You can't differentiate from big stress to little stress. You overreact to little things. You, what did I do that for? That was a big deal. Eventually, when the adrenal glands are tired, you're fatigued. You go to sleep, you wake up in the middle of the night wired because the adrenal glands, while we're sleeping, Patrick, the cells are still alive and they still need sugar. And it's the job of cortisol to tell the liver to release sugar. Well, if cortisol is insufficient, what will happen is the body will turn to adrenaline, which is on the inside adrenals, and say, look, get that liver to release sugar. Well, adrenaline tells the liver to release sugar, and then you wake up with a buzz. So you never hear somebody goes, I wake up at 2 a.m. and I'm buzzed and I can't go back to sleep like I had 2 cups of coffee. You know their adrenals are exhausted. So ultimately, a continual stress, whatever those stressors are, will cause adrenal fatigue, adrenal exhaustion, your inability to handle stress, poor sleep, and it goes around and around and around. So say that you wake up in the morning and picture a conversation between your brain and your adrenals. Your brain says, look, I've got a lot of things on the plate today. We got to do this, and I need your help. And the adrenals say, I got nothing to give you. Well, you can understand how patients can have anxiety. So frequently anxiety to be the result of adrenal fatigue, adrenal burnout as a result of chronic stress. Essentially, when the adrenals go out, nothing works well. The adrenals are the key hormonal gland of the body. A lot of people think about thyroid. Think about thyroid as the carburetor in your car, and think about the adrenals as the accelerator in your car. You need them both to get the car going forward. So chronic stress weakens the adrenals, and a whole cascade of events happens after that. NuCalm will allow you to sleep well. The older we get, the more we use sleep as regeneration. In the first 2 hours of sleep, growth hormone is released in order to help regenerate the body. We don't grow as we're adults, but we need growth hormone to be released in the first 2 hours to help regenerate the body before we're asleep. So sleep is this essential time when we regenerate and recoup our energy that was lost during the day, when the parasympathetic nervous system kicks in to repair the body. And the deeper the sleep, the more continual the sleep, the more we're able to rebuild our parasympathetic nervous system and our dreams. I was very open to NuCalm from the beginning because I realized, number one, that the less stressed that I can become, the more effective I can become as a doctor. I like to do it every day. I've got one in the office, I've got one at home. And so whenever the half an hour time slot is, I actually used to be really angry when a patient canceled at the last second. Now I go straight to NuCalm. I got that half an hour, I'm fine. I find that if I can do it every day, it's extremely beneficial. There's no shortage of people in Los Angeles come and see me complaining about being stressed out. And I say to them, I said, look, do you have a half an hour? And a lot of people, by the way, will say, no, I've got an appointment. I can't go. I've got to get out of here. But there are some people who basically say, yes. So we'll put them on that heated waterbed. And I'll say, we're going to give you the experience. Your state will completely change. And we can talk about it afterwards. They go on the waterbed. They put on, we do the NuCalm system. And they come back and go, wow. That's probably the first word I hear out of everybody is wow. And again, it's 100%. Everybody who's tried it loves it.